On the news, court sentences ex-minister Sarah Ochekpe 2 others for money laundering. Civil society groups protest President Buhari's non-assent to electoral bill. And Nigeria records first foreign trade surplus of $1.1 billion in 2 years. I'm glad to have you join us to News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. A federal high court sitting in Jos on Tuesday sentenced a former Minister of Water Resources, Sarah Ochekpe, to 3 months imprisonment. Ochekpe was served as minister under former President Goodluck Jonathan, was sentenced alongside a former chairman of the People Democratic Party in Plateau State, Raymond Dabo, and the Plateau State coordinator of Jonathan campaign organization, Leo Sunday Jitong. The 3 accused persons had been standing trial since 2018 in a case of money laundering and conspiracy brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, amounting to over 450 million naira. The governors of the All Progressives Congress, APC, have announced that they are in support of the party's new date for its national convention. The APC on Monday had postponed its national convention, which was earlier billed for February 26 to March 26. Reacting to the development after meeting with President Buhari in Abuja on Tuesday, Chairman of the APC Governors Forum and Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, explained that the governors are satisfied with the date. Bagudu also revealed that the governors have agreed on a simple, equitable and fair zoning formula for all geopolitical zones. He reiterated that the progressive governors are united in their resolve to ensure that the opposition party does not return to power in the country. Well, more than 20 civil society groups gathered on Tuesday morning at the Unity Fountain in Abuja to protest the non-assent of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari. The protest comes despite assurances by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, that the President will assent in a matter of time. Security agencies, including the police and Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC), were on ground. The protesters later went on procession towards the National Assembly. Since 2018, Buhari had rejected the legislation 3 times, raising concerns that is not favorably disposed to electoral reforms and the conduct of credible elections in Nigeria. Well, joining me to discuss this further is political affairs analyst, Mr. Chike Chude. Thank you very much for your time. Now, let's talk about this issue, basically. What do you make of the perceived, the perception of many people that the President doesn't want to grant assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill?
Well, it's the attitude, the general attitude of the President. There's nothing that shows in the general demeanor of the President that is actually interested in getting this signed. If you look at the delays that led, and unfortunately, what is going on is that this President benefited from the electoral reforms that were conducted by his predecessors. And on the basis of that, he contested for the presidency of this country and became president. And he says he's anxious to bequeath a good legacy to the Nigerian people. I don't know what legacy the president can actually look at and touch. It cannot be the economy, cannot be security, cannot be anti-corruption. I think what would be one of his biggest legacies would be that he has, that he allows, he appends his signature to this electoral bill. It is critical, it is very important. And he has delayed it he has refused to sign it twice. The last time was in 2018, very close to the election, and he gave the nearness to the election as excuse for not signing it. And the last time he had an interview with one of the national television networks in the country. He was asked whether he would sign the bill if the National Assembly returns it back to him based on his previous objection about the inclusion of direct primaries. And he said, yeah, of course, he said it, I mean, in a way, a manner that suggested that, yes, it's important to him. So you would think that with that in mind, that he would have signed it immediately, the bill came to him. He just gives this to his people to vet it, to go through, make sure that there is no other contentious issue. But up to now, he has refused, and I want to look at it as a refuse because he knows how important it is to the country. He knows how much Nigerians have looked forward to this electoral bill. And at this particular point in time, INEC is beginning to sound warning alarms that it is becoming a problem for them if this bill is not signed, because they want to begin to make plans on the basis of the bill that has been signed into law. So it's sad. I think Nigerians are just very suspicious that it doesn't seem to have a good track record when it comes to reforming electoral laws in this country.
Now, speaking of the preparation window of 365 days given to INEC according to the Constitution, now, if the President doesn't grant assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, what do you think will happen? What are the consequences?
Well, the National Assembly will have to put their money where their mouth is, because it was the National Assembly that prepared the bill. And of course, the civil society organizations were involved in it. They were lobbying the National Assembly members. I know that one of the groups I belong to, Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room, also had to do special presentations to members of the committee on the in charge of electoral matters, and emphasizing the need for the bill to be signed into law, for them to do their own part. And I think they have done that. The members of National Assembly have actually done that. But if they do not get what they desire, then I think they should just go ahead. They have given the president enough deference. They have given him enough respect as the president of this country by adhering to his, by conforming to what he wanted earlier, that is the removal of direct primaries, that was earlier, provided for in the bill. So they have done enough. And like I said, they've given him enough respect. So if the president still refuses to sign, then it is very clear that the president is set to truncate the electoral bill and does not want electoral reforms. Then the National Assembly should go ahead and ensure that they pass it, that they override the president's veto. And it becomes law automatically. So nothing is lost, even if this president says he's not going to sign it.
Well, indeed, Chike Chude, political affairs analyst, thank you very much for your time. Well, moving on, security agencies in Nigeria have been urged to work in synergy in order to improve Nigeria's battle against insurgents and all forms of criminality. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, made this known at an inter-agency cooperation workshop in Abuja. Stakeholders at the workshop also emphasized that conflict resolution among personnel of security agencies in the country is non-negotiable, as it would mitigate the growing spate of crime and violence in the country.
In the evaluation of the relationship among the security agencies, there have been issues with boundaries of responsibilities, mutual distrust and suspicion, unhealthy competition, poor role delineation, and general disinterest by one or more agencies to contribute in supporting capacity to another. This tendency, simply referred to as interagency rivalry, have deeply permeated and equally jeopardized the national potentials to more effectively and efficiently tackle the menace of insecurity and criminalities that is bedeviling the country.
For the interagency process to be successful, it should bring together the interests of multiple ministries, departments, and agencies. This is aimed at promoting cooperation at the various agencies. All have different cultures, philosophies, core competencies, and experiences that they bring to the forum. These distinct features need to be properly coordinated to achieve unity of effort, which is ultimately desired in interagency cooperation.
And I hope at the end of this workshop, we'll be able to see where there are areas of duplication, overlap in the system, where there are areas that we need to cement so that we'll become more effective in sharing information. And when people talk about intelligence, we have to agree that it is information that later on becomes intelligent.
Following the rise in spate of ritual killings across the country, the federal government has announced that it will ensure responsible use of social media to curb the menace. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed made this known while speaking to newsmen in Abuja on Tuesday. The minister further emphasized that claims to knowledge of ritual killings through social media has confirmed the need to regulate the platform.
Ritual killings have assumed a worrisome dimension in recent years. According to an NGO, Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta, 150 women and girls were killed for ritual purposes between January 2018 and December 2021. The NGO said the prevailing situation is driven by a growing demand for human body parts for money making. It added that the trend endangers the safety and security of women and girls. Recently in Ogun State, 4 young men, one of whom is 18 years old, murdered their 20-year-old female friend for money rituals. One of them said they learned about using human parts for money rituals from the social media. Of course, you are also aware of a case involving a female student of the University of Jos, who was allegedly killed by her boyfriend for ritual purposes. These killings have been widely reported by the media. The fact that some of these ritualists said they learned the money-making tricks from some social media platforms has given a further fillip to our campaign to rid social media of unwholesome content.
The Nigerian Senate has called on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, declare a state of emergency on the nation's federal roads. This was part of resolutions reached on Tuesday by the Senate, following a point of order raised to draw its attention to the increase in airfare and the implication of four Nigerian roads rising under Order 41 and 51 of the Senate Standing Orders. Senator Goshen Bassi lamented that local airfares in Nigeria risen by 63% in response to a spike in the price of aviation fuel and cost of operation.
The local airfares in Nigeria have risen by over 63% in response to a spike in the price of aviation fuel and attendant cost of operation. Senate is also disturbed that the rise in the airfare has pegged the minimum economy class ticket at around 80,000 naira for travelers buying a 1-hour, one-way economy ticket. Further disturbed that the increase in airfares will increase the pressure on the neglected and dilapidated Nigerian roads and will further worsen the state of the roads in Nigeria. Senate is concerned that the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, had a budgetary approval of just about 20% of the funds the agency requires for the rehabilitation of the 35,000 kilometers of federal road infrastructure in the 2022 budget. Accordingly, this Senate resolves to, 1, as a matter of urgency, declare a state of emergency on national roads in Nigeria.
The exploitation of the earth and degradation of the environment has risen at an alarming rate, resulting in continuous calls for significant change in the climate of Earth. One of such calls was made in Abuja, the nation's capital, at an environment symposium organized by the Earth Advocacy and Empowerment Foundation, as youth were encouraged to play a vital role in the advocacy for sustainable climate change. Our correspondent Mary Kanu has the details.
Low crop yields, floods, rising sea levels, shrinking glaciers, loss of homes and road networks. These and many more are resulting effects of climate change due to human activities. Africa has had its fair share of the turbulence of global warming, despite producing an average of just over 1 metric ton of the greenhouse gas emissions globally, just as experts warn that the effects of climate change will be harsher on the second most populous continent by the year 2030. To prevent a catastrophe, environmental activists are engaging in discourses and other forms of advocacy to come up with strategic solutions to the problem. This symposium is one of such, with an aim to enlighten citizens on the need to care for the environment, bringing to fore the degradations the country has witnessed.
Climate change is real. The National Biosafety Management Agency believes in the use of safe modern biotechnology to save the earth, to produce food and agricultural products, and also to apply it in a way to combat climate change activities. Festac Town remains one of the best estates ever constructed in the whole of West Africa. It was well planned. It has everything you can pick up in any modern estate. But today, if you go to Festac Town, it's in a sorry state. You're going to cry, and you feel very, very bad because of our culture of lack of infrastructural maintenance.
With an increase in extreme heat and flash floods as a result of ozone layer depletion, participants say with proper advocacy, awareness and engagement, the escalating issues of climate change can be controlled.
Building green is one of the best strategies for meeting the challenge of climate change. Thankfully, the technology to make substantial reduction in energy and carbon dioxide emissions already exists.
We must formulate policies and enact legislation that protect our borders and territories from becoming the dumping grounds of obsolete material.
Recognizing the potential of youth as change agents, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development is also calling for Earth's restoration with the formulation of policies for active participation of youths in activities geared towards reversing the effects of climate change.
The ministry has come up with a global program, which is a sustainability program, which sees the young people actively involved in different areas where they can help, not just only help towards reversing climate change, but they can also ensure that they limit, the things that are happening already.
The National Emergency Management Agency says approximately 1.9 million Nigerians have been displaced due to harsh climate conditions. This is even as environmentalists look to the policies and promises made at the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference to be implemented. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
I'll take a break here, but still to come, Boris Johnson announces UK sanctions against Russia. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. A federal high court sitting in Jos on Tuesday has sentenced a former Minister of Water Resources, Sarah Ochekpe, to 3 months imprisonment. Ochekpe, who served as minister under former President Goodluck Jonathan, was sentenced alongside the former chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Plateau State, Raymond Dabo, and the Plateau State coordinator of Jonathan campaign organization, Leo Sunday Jitong. We also told you that more than 20 civil society groups gathered on Tuesday morning at the Unity Fountain in Abuja to protest the non-assent of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari. The protest comes despite assurances by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, that the President will assent in a matter of time. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website at www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Hong Kong authorities have said it would test its entire population for COVID-19 in March. This comes as the city grapples with its worst outbreak driven by the Omicron variant. Hong Kong has reported about 5,000 new daily infections since February 15, with a number threatening to overwhelm its healthcare system. Since the surge began at the beginning of the year, the city has recorded nearly 54,000 cases and 145 deaths. I'll take a short break here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us. Welcome back. Well, up next is business news and stock market review with Simi Saladingo. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you, Falashade. Welcome to business. Nigeria's export value has surpassed import bill for the first time in over 2 years. According to data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Nigeria's foreign trade balance recorded a surplus of $1.1 billion in Q4 2021. According to the data, Nigeria's international trade balance increased significantly from a deficit of $327 million recorded in the previous quarter to $1.1 billion in Q4 2021. Similarly, when compared to the corresponding period of the previous year, Nigeria's trade balance increased by 150% from $7.57 billion deficit recorded in Q4 2020. We'll go on a short break and be back with stock market reports. Investors gained 6.99 billion naira as Nigeria's stock all-share index inched up marginally by 0.03%, maintaining positive posture on Tuesday. Compared with previous NGX trading day, today's data shows a 22% improvement in turnover. The all-share index inched up 47,246.90 basis points, while current market capitalization stands at 25.5 trillion naira. At the close of the trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 421 million volume of shares valued at 5.155 billion naira exchanged hands in 5,992 deals. In total, 117 NGX equities participated in trading, ending with 29 losers against 29 gainers, against 18 losers. Nigeria Insurance Company is ahead on the gainers list with 22 kobo, while Learn Africa followed closely, earning 2 naira 42 kobo, both ending with a combined 2 naira 64 kobo gain. On the flip side, Ella Lakes and Veritas Caps lit the losers counter, both losing a combined 4 naira. Bullish sentiments will remain in reaction to the primary markets auction PMA slated for Wednesday. On the global scene, the Russia-Ukraine conflict has put pressure on market sentiment recently, with the major averages posting back-to-back weekly losses. Despite this, UK's FTSE had a positive trading day. It ended in the greens at 0.13%. Meanwhile, US equities Dow Jones dipped 0.81% on Tuesday as traders continue to monitor brewing tensions between Russia and Ukraine. For Japan's Nikkei, it also fell 1.71%, as you can see right here, the fourth day of losses as the Russia-Ukraine crisis worsens. Japan is presently watching the situation around Ukraine with grave concern about the possibility of a Russian invasion. Well, that's it on stock market report. It's back to Folashade.
Well, many thanks, Simi, for that update. Now on the foreign scene, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced sanctions against 5 Russian banks and 3 billionaires after Russia ordered troops into eastern Ukraine. The PM said Russia's actions amounted to a renewed invasion of the country, parts of which were illegally annexed by Russia in 2014. He told Member of Parliament that the UK must now steel itself for a protracted crisis. He added that first barrage of sanctions would be extended if the situation escalated further. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
And Danny TV has unveiled an official trailer for the new web series Love Like This, directed by Adiola Oshunkojo. The new romantic drama set to premiere on February 25th centers on the lives of young middle-class Nigerians who find themselves thrust in chaotic incidents on their quest to find love. Love Like This stars Nonso Basi alongside Okejude, Eva Ibiam, Gbemi Akinlade, among others. The new show follows the third season of Rumor Has It, which premiered in June 2021. The estranged wife of the Alaafin of Oyo, Queen Ola, has joined the growing list of celebrities who have gone under the knife. The former queen made this known while reacting to throws of people on her Instagram page who have called her out for going under the knife. In her response, Ola confirmed going through the Brazilian butt life, but advised her nosy followers to leave her alone. The entrepreneur joins the likes of Tonto DK, Bibi Ninja's Chloe, Nina, and Toke Makinwa, who have openly talked about going under the knife. The last time Queen Ola was in the news, it was about her alleged infidelity to her estranged husband, the Alaafin of Oyo. And that is all that we have for you on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment now to sports, the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, has been notified by the Confederation of African Football, CAF, that the FIFA World Cup playoff round between Nigeria Super Eagles and the Black Stars of Ghana will now take place on new dates. The opening leg at the Cape Coast Stadium will now take place on Friday, March the 25th, starting from 8:30 p.m. in Nigeria. It was earlier scheduled to be played on Thursday, March the 24th. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.